My name is Mike Guglielmo. I work for Genesis Healthcare, and I'm in charge of talent acquisition and development, which in layman's terms is usually recruiting and career progression. And I've been with the company about 3.5 years, and before that held roles in HR, finance, and IT for some major organizations like Allied Signal and Rodale Press and Vanguard, the mutual fund company. Genesis. So we are a company of almost 40,000 people throughout the East Coast, from Maine to Florida and as far west as about Kansas. We have approximately 220 nursing home or long-term care facilities, also known as skilled nursing facilities, and as well as rehab services, rehabilitation for physical, occupational, and speech therapy and respiratory therapy in all those same 220 locations, plus another 600 locations where we are basically a third-party provider of those services. Me. Let's see. So I joined the company about 3.5 years ago, and the recruiting organization was in quite a large amount of disarray. And we've essentially fixed that. We actually today just submitted an application for HR Department of the Year in the Philadelphia metropolitan area because of all the wonderful things that our recruiting team has done, and got great people bringing registered nurses and therapists into our company at a record pace. Wow. That said, we still have and have had and still have a turnover issue, and a lot of it comes back to technical people / clinicians that were thrust into management roles, and they were ill-prepared to do so. And given the fact that I've managed an IT organization before, I know it is completely analogous to that. And so we've done a couple of different things. We've introduced basic management training, which many of the folks never had from day one when they were asked to be a supervisor. We have introduced a more robust performance management system that aligns goals of individuals and departments with the company's goals, and more rigorous reviews that are on time and so forth. And we also have had a leadership development group that has essentially taken the cream of the crop as potential nursing home administrators or directors of nursing who needed additional training and or licensing to achieve that, and put them in a cadre and gave them mentors and preceptors and really set them up for success. And they were doing well, but we think we need to do more. And that's when we took a good hard look at assessments. And after a pretty thorough vetting process of you guys against 19 other vendors in an RFP process, we chose Profiles as the company that we wanted to partner with. It came down to really two things. The other finalists were either much more expensive, and the way we want to scale this over approximately 3,000 managers in our company, plus all the folks that ascend to that role, it just would have been cost prohibitive. It was one vendor in particular was about double what you guys wound up charging us. Big name, big provider, great products, but just would not have scaled appropriately for us. The other finalist, and there were 3, including Profiles, had a fairly robust psychological assessment that was produced, and you needed to have certified people deliver it. And the simplicity and elegance of your product, the scalability of it, the web-based services, and the fact that if you take it to the most common denominator, which in this case may be nursing supervisors, who need to take it or nursing supervisors who need to deliver it, we felt that the language was very appropriate up and down the chain, all the way up to a vice president role, which is actually what we are, where we're implementing right now. So our pilot program was with one of our areas to have 6 regional vice presidents do the assessment and then have their nursing home administrators take it as well. And we had to go through building the profile for the VPs, building the profile for the nursing home administrators, and Dwight Crane's been absolutely wonderful. See, I'm on film saying this, Dwight. He really has been great helping us navigate through a lot of different personalities and a lot of anxiety over some things in the assessment. We've gotten over those things pretty well, starting to roll out into other areas. But the one thing that I will say that has helped me be able to sell it is I did the assessment myself and also did it with my direct reports and delivered the reports to my directs, incorporated into a, we're not on at the point where we're doing annual reviews quite yet, but I do periodic reviews throughout the year, and instead of just going through their goals, I incorporated this in instead of our normal competency review. And I will say that it has been probably one of the most insightful and, for at least one member of the team, profound influencers for our ability to identify what some of those potential derailers were. I'm certified in Myers-Briggs, so I have been able to ascertain some of those things, but not in a way such as the way that Profiles does it. And I went through the performance model analysis, which I will ask you guys to change back to the coaching report, because I think it probably works a little bit better. It rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. But that report I went through a couple days before we did these mid-cycle reviews and made sure I had everything identified that I wanted to talk about. Went through the individual review with my direct reports as well, and it was a really meaningful, robust conversation. And in fact, this one person where I would say that the change was profound, that person has really taken off since that discussion, and it's just really worked out well. And that individual really fought Dwight on the results at first, and he finally convinced that individual that take a good hard look at yourself. Let's use a couple of examples and analogies in your life, and we're able to translate that over into where that individual is in their work performance, and it's really been extraordinary, the change.